Hey guys, I'm back and I am happy to be back talking about Insecure. For season 3, what I really wanted to talk about was Molly's relationship with Dro and maybe Candace, maybe a little bit of Candace in there, but really the messiness of her relationship with Dro. So let's get into it. We've now journeyed 2 seasons with Molly and Issa, and we know that they messy. That's going to be the underlying premise of all of this. It's not gonna be picture perfect. Nothing's gonna be pristine. But we come back with season 3. It's 2 weeks after the end of season 1. Molly is back from her vacation. She's about to start her new job, and she comes back, she sits down with Issa, who is going through a lot, and she discusses with Issa this epiphany she's had.
Let me tell you right now, this whole vacation put everything in perspective for me. I'm on some next level shit.
I'm listening.
Okay, so like Vacation Bay was trying to kick it with me in LA, and I had to put him in his lane. Bloop, you beat your dick. Quentin was trying to do some long distance shit, and I said, blip, stay in Chicago. And my new job was trying to front of my benefits, and I said, blam, you better get the bitch a PPO.
So you bloop it and blip it and blap it?
And blam it, bitch. I'm on some know better, do better shit.
I have had so many conversations like this with so many different women. Okay, Insecure Writers Room, like, we're here, I feel you. As soon as they have this conversation about doing better, I just said, Issa, it's not for you. It's not for you. Issa is not in a place in her life to do better. She's living in her ex's home. She's struggling at work. She's driving Lyft. She gonna be messed up for a while. But I had a little bit of faith in Molly, as I always do, because she is in a position to do better. And after that scene, we see Molly actually take some positive action. She tells Dro that they need to set some real boundaries in their relationship.
Listen, we need to decide whether we're friends who don't have sex or acquaintances who just have sex. Because anything otherwise is a little muddy, and I need boundaries.
Okay, all right. What do you suggest we do then?
We fuck. That's it. No phone calls, no dates, no spending the night, no fucking and trying to make pancakes.
But we love pancakes.
Nigga.
What? Okay.
And that all leads up to the final scene, or one of the final scenes of episode 1 of season 3, where she sets that hard boundary. We can't do this no more. Give me my key. After that scene, a really familiar conversation about Dro was sparked. And that is Dro a villain? I'm so fascinated by the fact that so many people seem to see Dro as this nefarious, trifling, scheming cheater, and not a man who is in an open relationship and he happened to choose Molly as his partner. I was so curious about how we can see such different things. How am I seeing something different? So when I have questions, I search for answers. And so I decided to go back in season 2 and really dig through all of the receipts. Let's review the evidence. When Molly first meets Dro and Candace at that cupcake shop, they just look like an average, lovey-dovey, happy married couple. We don't know anything about them.
I'll pay for hers.
Oh my Dro, hey, Candace.
Hey, girl. I see you are still trying to work those ugly colors, but you're cute, though.
Okay, you know what? I didn't even wear this on purpose, but just like a Delta to hate. So what, y'all just gonna roll to my cupcake spot and not tell anybody you in town?
That's my fault.
Uh-huh.
He was only supposed to be in town on business for a few hours, but I wanted to tag along and turn it into a weekend.
But immediately after that first interaction, Molly is walking down the street talking to Issa, and she projects this ideal of perfection onto them.
On paper, he's amazing, but I don't know.
Well, what don't you know?
It's like with Dro and Candace. I just ran into them at the cupcake shop.
Oh, which two did you get?
Bitch, who cares?
Chocolate and caramel?
Yes. But the point is, like, Dro didn't have no 5-year plan. Hell, he didn't even have a 5-day plan.
Yeah, Dro was a mess.
Right, but he just went with the flow. He found the perfect person. With Lionel, I feel like he was just checking off his boxes. Get into a relationship. Check. What?
He sounds kind of like you.
And this is where we see Molly's issues loud and clear. She is searching for ready-made perfection. So she's cycling through these dudes who are perfectly nice. Molly is not interested in staying low and building. She's eyeing these two people who have had this deep connection for years and saying, no, I don't want to build. I want that. But back to Dro. In her initial interactions that we see with Dro, they're very, very friendly. They're very platonic. We know that Molly and Dro go way back, but still Molly isn't on some I'm trying to steal your man stuff, right? And she's very cognizant of setting clear boundaries, clear, non-trifling boundaries with Dro.
I like it like that. She working that back. I don't know how to act. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Move it slow motion for me. I like it like that. She working that back. I don't know how to act. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Move it slow motion for me. I'm a dick thrower. Her neck and her back hurting.
Okay.
Have you like a brand new.
You should probably stop, because I'm sure Candace would not be too thrilled with all this high school grinding. Plus, she got the molly-whopping arms, and I can't fight like I used to. So.
Then Dro, who has a desire to creep up, explains to Molly that he's in an open marriage. And not only is he in a happy open marriage, but this was all Candace's idea.
Molly, it's cool. Candace and I, we're open.
Open? Open how?
Like, we're in an open marriage. We're allowed to be with other people.
What? Since when?
A year ago. I'm serious. Traditional marriage, that shit just didn't work for us.
You got married in a church.
I didn't expect things to go this way either. Look, it's a lot of pressure to be all things to one person. Come on.
Well, then make friends. You just can't be out here cheating.
But it isn't cheating. We're very honest with each other. Isn't that how relationships work?
Now, at this point, we don't have any indication that he's lying, right? He has done nothing to make himself seem untrustworthy. And if you believe that Dro is lying at this point, it's because you've projected whatever ideas you have about what men do onto him. Now, as I mentioned before, Dro brings up the open marriage thing because he's interested in Molly. He wants to get down. Now, we should have a discussion about the ethics of that. So it's not just that Dro and Molly go back and they're old friends and why are you trying to make moves on your old friend? It's also that Dro and Molly have a relationship, and Dro and Candace have a relationship, and Molly has a relationship with Dro, Molly, and Candace. We should actually be talking about the ethics of that, right? So it's like, even if I consent to having an open relationship with you, or even if I bring the idea to you, I don't think that I'm consenting to having an open relationship with one of my friends involved. That's a bit much. And that's where I understand why people feel like Dro might be trifling. Be open, but why you gotta be open there? Now, that's definitely a point for Dro's sketchometer. But on the other hand, that's just par for the course messiness in the insecure world. And at this point, to Molly's credit, she rebuffs his advances. She is still choosing to stay out of the mess. Now, after Dro makes that first move, things do get a little weird, but he's still around. He comes to Molly's parents' anniversary party, and that's not weird, right? They're old friends. Now, at the party, he keeps it real respectful. Molly is there with a date, and he keeps a respectful distance. He's not creepy at all. Now, the only reason their relationship escalates is because after Molly finds out that her parents' marriage isn't perfect, back to that obsession with perfection, once she realizes that everybody has their shit, and we've all been through stuff, she's feeling broken and confused, and she decides she used Dro to work through it. Molly doesn't have any coping skills. So instead of calling up a friend or texting her therapist, she's using the married man.
Sorry about before. I didn't mean to yell at you.
I know.
How you gonna get home?
I'll call a Lyft or whatever. All right.
Now back to Dro. We know he's interested. He's made that perfectly clear. Molly knows that's the only reason why this is happening. But Dro also knows that Molly is in a really bad place. He's had to talk her down off the cliff. So, if you recognize that somebody is having damn near an emotional breakdown, do you then have a responsibility to say, you know what? Maybe this is not the time to do this, right? Perhaps fornication is not appropriate tonight. Now, again, I'm not 100% sure that that's his responsibility, right? Molly is grown and sexually free and an agent of her own body. But it might have been the more moral thing for Dro to do to say, maybe next time. So that's like half a point on the sketchometer. Maybe a quarter of a point. But at this point in time, I still don't see Dro being drawn as a sketchy character. Again, all of this bad decision making is just normalcy and insecure. It keeps us going. It keeps us drawn in. And in Dro's defense, he never lets Molly forget that he has a wife. He's very clear that he's not leaving Candace. There is no ambiguity there. And Molly is very clear that this is not her man.
I gotta go.
What? What's wrong?
Candace, she locked herself out.
Okay.
You gonna be okay?
Yeah, totally.
Stay. Dinner's already on the way. Room is paid for.
The real tension in this relationship comes from the fact that Molly is still obsessed with this perfect ideal, but she's in a situation where it's never gonna be the ideal, right? Like, that is the issue. She is never gonna be content, but she's still messing around with Dro. Dro is happy, perfectly content, and why wouldn't he be? But that is not predatory. It's messy. And Molly needs to get her stuff together. But again, you grown. Fix your life. Now, the worst Dro looks in this entire series is at the party for Derek's birthday. Molly is clearly going through it, as she always is. She sees Dro, there's that weird energy, and then Dro leaves and Candace comes in.
I did.
Hey, Molly. Good to see you.
Hi, Candace.
Come here, give me a hug. Oh, sorry. Did I? No. It's fine.
I'll get you another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this place is nice.
Yeah. Spacious.
Doesn't the bartender look just like Cory Booker?
Oh my God. I thought so too. You know, I can't trust anyone who lives in a housing project on purpose.
I know, right?
If Candace knows about what's happening with Molly, why would that be awkward? Now that is where it's legitimate to raise some questions about what kind of conversations are Dro and Candace having? You know, what is being said? And if there's no conversation, that's an issue, because these three people are going to coexist in this friend group forever. So we can't just be trying to do footsteps in the dark, okay? We need to have footsteps in the light. And instead of finding a way to work through that tension and that awkwardness and having a real conversation about what the fuck is going on, they decide to go to the bathroom and have sex?
Sorry we haven't been able to talk. This party's a lot, huh?
Yeah, I thought I knew what to expect tonight, but you and Candace, you guys look really good together.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, seeing you two the way you are with her, forget it. It's stupid. I sound so stupid.
No. We don't. We have something too.
We do. It's just.
I still don't think that it is completely appropriate to put everything on Dro's side. I just don't. Now, at this point, we see Molly kind of going down a shame spiral. She doesn't like what she's doing. She knows it's never going to be right. It's never going to be this ideal that she has built up in her mind, but it makes her feel good. And in fact, she's still drawing this man into her life. I mean, she gives him a key to her apartment.
She's back.
Nah, you can hold on to those.
And season 2 ends with Molly just, letting it all go. She says, F a boundary, I'm putting on the lingerie, opens the door, and...
The diamonds is plural, the Tiffany brooch. On my lapel at the table, I'm giving a toast. The first wedding that I've been in my 20s. Thinking maybe someone is not something to own. Maybe the government got nothing to do. Maybe the feeling just comes in the...
And we say, girl. But I certainly feel like in episode 1 of season 3, the writers of Insecure were doing everything they could to demonstrate that Dro is not being shady. Dro literally, after a night with Molly, answers the phone and says,
You want me to make breakfast first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Hey. No, I'm still out, Molly. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll call you back.
That's supposed to be our proof. This is a happy, healthy relationship where people talk about things. Molly realizes she can't do it no more. She's fed up, she wants different for her life, and she finally sets some real boundaries with Dro, and his reaction is not the best. He's really testing to see if she meant what she said. And that's an issue, right? Because a basic part of respect is, I said this, so you need to believe me and do what I said, right? This is a consent issue. But by the time we get to the end, Dro is a bugaboo, right? Not only is he steamrolling over her boundaries about contact, but then he shows up in her home.
Can I have my key back?
What? That's what you're thinking about right now?
I meant to ask for it earlier, but Can I get it back?
For what?
'Cause it's my key.
Where is this coming from?
Joe, I'm trying to do things better. Okay, this is hard for me.
Yeah, it's hard for me too.
How? You get to have me when you want, on your terms. I told you I need boundaries. Just because you and Candace get to do whatever and fuck whomever don't mean we all want our shit that messy.
First of all, don't talk about what me and my wife do. All right? So you need to figure out what you're doing and what you want.
I know I want my key back.
I think I'm gonna go.
I think that's a good idea.
But if someone is telling you that they want new boundaries, then you should be able to ascertain that just popping up is not going to be cool. And he can't figure that out, or he chooses to ignore it. And that's where when y'all say Dro is an issue, I'd be like, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Now, since we've reviewed the evidence, I think that I understand better where folks are coming from when they say that Dro is conniving and he's shady and he's a dog. Like, I get it. I'm still not all the way there because I do think from what we've seen, the writers of Insecure are doing what they can to be like, now this is a messy situation. This man, though, does have a real life understanding with his wife, right? And I think so much of the projection of shadiness onto Dro is about folks who don't really care to accept that some people do have healthy, happy, open relationships, right? Because so much of our understanding of what it means to be in a partnership is like, I own you, you are mine. And if you are not coming into this storyline with an understanding that, like, different is possible, then you're always gonna see Dro through the shady lens. And if you're not coming to this with an understanding that women can want to be open too, then you're also gonna see Dro as being shady and underhanded and scheming and all of that. So I definitely think that this is a sort of relationship Rorschach test. It really is about what you are coming to this with. And honestly, I felt it when Dro said this.
First of all, don't talk about what me and my wife do.
Me and you might be messy right now, but me and her are cool. Like, that makes perfect sense. It does. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. So anyway, guys, I love this topic. I love to talk about Insecure. I'm sure y'all have thoughts. Leave them below. I desperately want to get into it with you. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to hear more from me, I do a patrons only podcast. Sign up for our Patreon to be able to hear it. I also do more exclusive content over there, or get merch or tickets to our For Harriet events. If you want to know more about what we are doing over here, sign up for the email list. Text For Harriet to 345-345. That is all I have. Thank you guys so much. I missed you. I'll see you again. See you next time.